The January 6th committee backfires as voters are turning to Trump. We're going to look at the latest report showing a huge backlash against Liz Cheney and Nancy Pelosi. We're going to see how their plans to destroy Trump have imploded. And stick with the very end of this video, we're going to see how Trump in many ways is now more popular than ever. You are not going to want to miss this. Greetings, patriots all across the globe. Dr. Steve here with you. Great to be with you. As always, I am your patriot professor, helping to think better so you can feel better in this crazy and turbulent world. So you know what to do if you haven't already done so. Make sure you smack that bell and subscribe button. You know what I also want you to do? I want you to protect your finances from the robbing effects of inflation. You can do that by clicking on the link below and visiting our good friends over at Goldco. They're a Patriot Gold company that specializes in helping you find out how you can protect your retirement with the trustworthiness of gold and silver. And just to show you how amazing these guys are, if you click on that link below right now, I kid you not, gang, you're going to get up to $10,000 in free silver when you open up an account. But it is a limited time offer, so don't wait. Click on that link below or go to turleytalkslikesgold.com and find out how the trustworthiness of gold can keep your savings safe. All right, gang, let's dive right in here. You know, if Nancy Pelosi thought that putting together a kangaroo court comprised of some of the most bitter partisan leftists and two rabidly anti-Trump rhinos was going to turn the nation against the ultra-MAGA movement, well, then they're getting nothing less than a very rude awakening. And if you can believe it, that rude awakening is being reported by their own left-wing propaganda legacy media. NBC News, again to their credit, reported on their findings in the swing state of Nevada. They went to the streets, as it were, and asked voters if they were aware of the J6 hearings and what they thought about the case that they were building against Trump, that he knew the election wasn't stolen and that he was actually actively instigating an insurrection. The responses the NBC News reporter got were reactions like, oh, it's reprehensible. And another one called it disgusting. And another one said, everyone's angry about it. But NBC was quick to point out that these people weren't talking about Trump. Every single one of these voters were talking about the J6 committee itself. Here it is from NBC News. Quote, NBC News talked to more than 24 voters in both Washoe and Clark counties, the two most populous in Nevada, and found that the January 6th committee hearings that captivated Washington not only failed to persuade these voters, but pushed them in the opposite direction. Among the sampling of Republicans, including in Washoe, the swingiest county in one of the nation's swingiest states, it has hardened partisan views, spawned more conspiracies, or deepened fealty toward Trump. Though a limited snapshot, the unpersuaded voters underscore the near impossibility that the committee, no matter how stunning the new evidence they unearthed appeared to be, will be able to persuade a segment of voters who remain unmoved. It's not working. The J6 committee isn't working. Remember, the whole point of this committee was to get rid of Donald Trump once and for all. That's the entire purpose of the committee. It's to try to finish what the second impeachment was supposed to accomplish, which was the end of Trump and the ultra-MAGA movement that he inspired. I mean, we simply cannot underestimate how exasperated the permanent political class in D.C. is over all of this. There was a wonderful article by Brian Cates over the Epoch Times that came out around this time last year before they even assembled this pathetic J6 committee, and it summarized so well the media's utter despair and frustration over Trump. Listen to this, quote, right now, Donald J. Trump's opponents can't quite believe what they're seeing. Just a few short months ago, the swamp denizens of Washington were breathing sighs of relief. They had done it. They defeated the awful Trump, handed the White House to Joe Biden, and could now begin implementing all their cherished plans for a post-Trump America. And then an amazing thing happened. A twice-impeached former president who had supposedly incited an insurrection at the Capitol building on Jan 6 has returned, and he's looking stronger than ever. This was not in the script that had been so carefully written. The former President Trump is supposed to be a historical footnote at this point. He's supposed to be utterly destroyed, completely irrelevant, so radioactive nobody will go near him. Not only is Trump not sulking in private in utter disgrace, he's now exerting more direct control over the GOP than he ever did when he was in the White House. And that is so true. I mean, that's such an important observation. Trump has amassed an astonishing war chest to Save America PAC, has outraised the GOP, the RNC, by 2-1. RNC's raised like $50 million. The Trump PAC has raised an astonishing $122 million, double what the entire RNC was able to raise. Now, again, this is absolutely unprecedented stuff. So with that kind of financial power over the Republican Party, Trump has been able to basically direct GOP policy at both the federal and statewide levels. Not always, of course. Rhinos, of course, never fail to disappoint. But for the most part, the GOP, again, at both the state and federal levels, remains a thoroughly Trumpian party, an America First party. And so this is the whole point of the J6 committee. Their whole purpose in life is to try to bring down Trump. And it's been nothing but an utter and total and complete failure, from the ratings disaster to NBC having to cut away from the live hearings because they were so utterly and absolutely boring. Again, to now, literally a worst case scenario, a nightmare development. The J6 committee is actually turning voters to Trump, not away. Wait till you see some of these polls. You're going to love them. But before I gang, you got to get yourself one of these shirts. Ultra MAGA all the way. You're not going to believe how many strangers are going to be coming up to you and telling you how much they love your shirt. That's the most common feedback that we get. And all you got to do is click on that link below and select something from our awesome line of Patriot merch. This is a great way to both support this channel and spread Patriot hope far and wide. These designs are punchy and fun, but they're not going to last for long. So make sure to grab one for yourself. Grab one for the Patriots in your life. Click on that link below. Go to store.turleytalks.com. That is store.turleytalks.com. All right, let's look at some of these polls, shall we? From Redfield Wilton, Trump right now is beating Biden by 3 points, 41% to 38%. He beats Harris by 6 points. YouGov has Trump beating Biden by 2. And we've been talking a lot lately about the Democrats losing the Latino vote, right? With Mayra Flores winning huge in Texas. Look at this poll from El American. If the election were held today, the vast majority of Hispanics would vote for Trump, 39% to 28%. I mean, this is absolutely unprecedented. We have never seen anything like this. This mass defection of Latinos away from the Democratic Party to the Republican Party. And you don't have to be a genius to figure out why. I mean, look at this poll. In general, how responsible are President Biden's policies for causing the current inflation? 64% answered he, bumbling Biden, bike riding Biden, is the one responsible. 64%, and that includes 63% of independents. Only 25% of voters believe that Vladimir Putin, the evil Vladimir Putin, is behind the inflation. According to Civics polling, Biden is at an abysmal 32% approval. If you want to get a sense of what to expect in the midterms with numbers like that, remember that the night before Virginia and the New Jersey governor elections last year, on the eve of those elections, where Youngkin and the Republicans won in a blowout in Virginia, and the GOP almost did the unthinkable. They almost took the governorship in the bluest of blue states, New Jersey. On the eve of that election, Biden's approval was 43%, with 51% disapproval. Biden is currently 11 points lower than he was the night before the Democrats got stomped in state elections, especially school board elections. So all of this is to say that everything that the J6 committee has done thus far has literally done nothing whatsoever to hurt President Trump, and in many respects, it has only served to help him. Trump is officially more popular since J6, and when all is said and done, it looks like this committee will be remembered as simply one of the most colossal failures ever undertaken by DC's permanent political class. Now, before you go, you will definitely want to check out my latest video I just uploaded on France's massive turn to the right. President Emmanuel Macron is utterly humiliated as the populist right scores massive victories throughout the nation. You're not going to want to miss it, so make sure to click on that link, and I'll see you over there. God bless.